Lesson: Employment and Labor Contract Risks. Employment and labor contracts serve as the foundation for the relationship between employers and employees, outlining the rights and obligations of both parties. However, these contracts also present various risks that, if not properly managed, can lead to significant legal and financial repercussions. Understanding these risks and implementing strategies to mitigate them is crucial for organizations seeking to protect their interests and maintain compliance with labor laws. One of the primary risks associated with employment contracts is the potential for misclassification of employees. Misclassification occurs when employers incorrectly categorize workers as independent contractors rather than employees, or vice versa. This can lead to severe penalties, including back taxes, fines, and liabilities for unpaid benefits. To mitigate this risk, organizations can utilize a framework that includes conducting thorough reviews of job roles and responsibilities, consulting legal experts, and regularly auditing workforce classifications. A practical tool for this purpose is the IRS's 20-factor test, which assesses the degree of control and independence in the worker-employer relationship, helping organizations make informed classification decisions. Another significant risk is the potential for breaches of contract, which can arise from unclear terms or failure to adhere to agreed-upon conditions. To address this, organizations should ensure that contracts are meticulously drafted with precise language that leaves no room for ambiguity. Utilizing a standardized contract template, regularly reviewed and updated by legal counsel, can help achieve this clarity. Additionally, implementing a contract management system can streamline the process of monitoring compliance with contract terms. This system can alert relevant parties to key dates and obligations, minimizing the risk of inadvertent breaches. Discrimination and harassment claims are also prevalent risks in the realm of employment contracts. These claims can stem from perceived unfair treatment based on race, gender, age, or other protected characteristics. To mitigate such risks, organizations should implement comprehensive anti-discrimination policies and conduct regular training sessions to educate employees about acceptable workplace behavior and the consequences of discrimination. Establishing a clear procedure for reporting and addressing complaints is also essential. This can be achieved by creating a dedicated human resources team trained to handle such issues impartially and swiftly, thereby fostering a safe and inclusive work environment. Confidentiality breaches pose a further risk, particularly in industries where sensitive information is involved. Employment contracts often include non-disclosure agreements to protect proprietary information. However, enforcing these agreements can be challenging. To enhance their enforceability, organizations should ensure that NDAs are reasonable in scope and duration, clearly defining what constitutes confidential information and the consequences of unauthorized disclosure. Furthermore, organizations can implement data protection measures, such as encrypting sensitive information and restricting access to it on a need-to-know basis, thereby reducing the risk of accidental or malicious breaches. Employee termination is another area fraught with risk, as improper handling can lead to wrongful termination lawsuits. To mitigate this risk, organizations should establish a clear and consistent termination process, grounded in documented policies and procedures. This process should include conducting performance reviews, providing feedback, and offering opportunities for improvement before reaching the decision to terminate. In cases where termination is unavoidable, organizations should ensure that the process is conducted in accordance with the terms of the employment contract and applicable labor laws. Offering severance packages and outplacement services can also help ease the transition for terminated employees, reducing the likelihood of legal disputes. Additionally, organizations must be vigilant in addressing the risk of wage and hour violations, which can result from failing to comply with laws governing minimum wage, overtime pay, and record keeping. Regular audits of payroll practices can help ensure compliance with these laws. Implementing time-tracking software can also aid in accurately recording employee hours, reducing the risk of disputes over unpaid wages. Moreover, providing employees with clear information about their compensation and benefits, as well as maintaining open lines of communication, can help prevent misunderstandings and foster a trusting relationship between employers and employees. Globalization and the rise of remote work have introduced new challenges and risks in employment contracts, particularly with regard to jurisdictional issues. When employees work across borders, organizations must navigate varying labor laws and regulations, which can complicate contract compliance. To address this, organizations should seek legal counsel with expertise in international labor law and tailor employment contracts to account for jurisdiction-specific requirements. A practical approach involves using choice of law and forum selection clauses in contracts, which designate the applicable legal framework and dispute resolution venue, thereby reducing uncertainty and potential conflicts. In conclusion, employment and labor contracts carry inherent risks that, if left unaddressed, can have significant repercussions for organizations. By adopting a proactive approach to risk mitigation, organizations can protect themselves from legal and financial liabilities while fostering a positive and compliant work environment. Practical tools and frameworks, such as the IRS's 20-factor test, contract management systems, anti-discrimination policies, and time-tracking software, provide valuable resources for identifying and addressing potential risks. By integrating these strategies into their risk management practices, organizations can enhance their proficiency in navigating the complexities of employment contracts and safeguard their interests in an ever-evolving labor landscape.